everybody, Pat Flynn here, and I am going to give you the secret to life as I understand it. When it comes to success, when it comes to accomplishing things, you can have one of two attitudes. You can either be inspired by the possibility of something, or you can be discouraged by the improbability of something. Let me repeat that. You can either be inspired by the possibility of something, or you can be discouraged by the improbability of something. Unfortunately, I think most people fall into the latter category. They see the odds of success. They see the number of people who try to do something and how many of those people fail to do that something, and they become discouraged. Many of them don't even try. Let me give you a couple personal examples and why I think shifting your attitude to be somebody who is inspired by the possibility of something is a much better attitude to take in life. It's all about attitude. It's attitude, my friends. So when I was young, I was a very chubby little McNugget. I grew up very overweight, out of shape. I was not athletic. And eventually I decided to get my act together, as many of you know. Now, like most people who think about starting a diet or exercise program, you eventually come along the statistic that most people, something like 90%, of everybody who sets out to begin a diet or exercise program fails. Now, whether that stat is completely accurate doesn't matter. It's definitely close enough. The point is, most people who begin some sort of dietary program or lifestyle transformation, they just don't succeed. And this can be very discouraging to people. The improbabilities often cause a lot of people to never even bother trying. But for whatever reason, my attitude when I was younger was different. Because what that told me was that it was possible. There are people that do this. That it's not some grand physical or metaphysical law of reality that I had to fail. It was not inevitable that I would fail. It might be improbable that I succeed, but it's possible that I succeed. And for whatever reason, that was all I needed. Because I realized if it's not some law of reality that I fail, then the problem almost certainly is me. And that's great news. Why is that great news, Pat? Well, I can work on me. I can't change a law of reality. But I can, I think, change myself. And this was deeply inspiring to me because I realized, even in my ignorant young age, that if I just found a process, a good process, and I stuck to it, and I kept trying to refine the process and educate myself, then I might succeed. I might succeed. I understood that there are no guarantees in life, but I didn't need a guarantee. I just needed a possibility, and that deeply inspired me. And eventually, after many frustrations and setbacks, I did succeed. I lost the weight. I transformed myself. And not just physically, but mentally as well. This cemented me in this attitude of allowing myself to be inspired by possibilities rather than discouraged by improbabilities. Let me give you a couple more examples. When I wanted to start my own business, I knew the odds. I knew that most people who start a business don't succeed, that most businesses fail within the first year. But that's okay, because some succeed, and that's all I needed to know. When it comes to music, I knew that most people who pick up a musical instrument set it down again pretty quickly. But some become great musicians. Some become great at that musical instrument. And that's all I needed to know, to pick up the guitar and keep going at it. I knew when I began martial arts that most people who start a martial art quit pretty early on. Most never attain black belt. But I also knew that some made it. They did get black belt. And that's all I needed. I was inspired by that possibility. I have built my business, actually multiple businesses. I have gotten my black belt, and I'm a pretty darn good guitar player. If many of you don't know, I gig around locally when I'm not talking about fitness or writing books. I'm just playing music. That's what I do. And writing is another thing. I knew when I wanted to write a book and get a book published that most people who try to get a book published don't succeed. But some do succeed, and that's all I needed to know. So then for me, the question was, well, the people who succeed, what are they doing? What is their process? What is their method? And you discover pretty quickly a common theme. They do try to find a process. They do try to find a method. They tend to emulate other successful people. They also understand that they're probably not going to get what they want right away. They are going to fail many times, and that success is largely a numbers game. But they're willing to play that numbers game. They're willing to face so many rejections. They're willing to course correct as they go. They're willing to step up, swing, miss, but analyze, why did I miss? What do I need to fix so that my process becomes a better process, that I'm more likely to get the outcome? The people who succeed are the people who are not discouraged by the improbabilities, but are willing to play the numbers game, commit to a process, refine the process, and course correct as they go until they get the outcome that they want. They are inspired by the possibility, and because of that, they have persistence. And persistence really is the key to success. It's not the only thing. You need persistence plus refinement. You need to learn from your mistakes as you move along. You can't just keep doing the same exact thing if it's not getting you the outcome that you want. And some things you can only learn through the setbacks, through those temporary failures, whether it comes to weight loss, whether it comes to strength, whether it comes to business, writing, music, you name it. So much of the learning process comes from those setbacks, comes from the mistakes, comes from the times where you didn't quite get the outcome that you want. But when you absorb that, when you learn from that, and you refine your process, eventually, maybe, you will get the outcome that you want. I say maybe because there are never any guarantees in life, but here's how I see it. Given the option of taking my chances on maybe getting the thing I want, by adopting the first attitude of being inspired by the possibility of something, versus guaranteeing that I will almost never get the outcome I want by taking the attitude of being discouraged by the improbability of something, it's a no-brainer. I'm taking the first option every time. I hope you do as well. Leave your thoughts below.